Good afternoon, Madam Chair. We have no testifiers for your committee.
Thank you very much. And in Hilo, we have so far 4 testifiers. And I'd like to call up first Polikapu Dedman and Terry Napiahi to the table.
Good morning, Council.
Morning.
Guys. I'm against this resolution or this request from the mayor to send a bill to Hawaiian Homes for speed bumps. You guys all have speed bumps in your districts? Did you charge your residents for these speed bumps? So I'm wondering, why are you charging Hawaiian Homes for speed bumps? And that should come under taxpayers' public and safety budget, if there is. Hawaiians don't get exemptions for taxes, so they should be treated like everybody else with taxes. In fact, they have offered more for East Side Hilo and this island with their lands, and I think they've been misused for years. So you got to stop taking advantage of Hawaiians, man, and take care of these kind of public safety issues for our keikis in the future, and whatever was language being used when they were put in. I don't know if it was Leadhead Todd's time or Onishi's time, but there should have been some language to address this issue and not bring it up now and bill the Hawaiians later. You do it first and you bill them with no negotiation or with the residents' concerns in this communications of it. So I'm against this, man, and the mayor should be ashamed of himself even for requesting this. I think you guys should stand up to that too and treat Hawaiians like everybody else, and pay for it, not the Hawaiians pay for this speed bumps, man. Thank you.
Mahalo. Go ahead, Ms. Napiahi.
Aloha, Terry Napiahi, representing Keaukaha Action Network. I am speaking in behalf of Resolution 740-18. I oppose this resolution and hope to have you understand, as a resident of Hawaiian Homes, the rest, in Keaukaha especially, you've seen me, most of you have seen me here before regarding the health and safety impacts on Keaukaha and the burden that this particular group of people have carried in environmental issues with industry, sewage, landfill, airport, gas storage companies, all of which emit toxic emissions that our people have had to endure, some being developed without any transparency and disclosure to our families. I just really wanted all of you to know that this is an insult, requesting something that administration feels is manini, and that our people should be reimbursing, or DHHL should be reimbursing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Commission Act. We'll have probably others behind me speak about that. But what I'd like you to understand is, if you were to take a cost analysis of the past and the injustice of the compensation that has not been given to our families in Keaukaha, if I was to do an analysis on that alone, asking our families to pay for the speed bumps for safety is just not pono. It is discriminatory. It is insulting that our community has had to endure the burden, environmental injustice, all these years, and you're asking our families to do the same. Mahalo.
Mahalo for your testimony. Mr. Kamai and Patrick, Mr. Kahavai Ola'a, please come forward. Aloha, just please identify yourself for the record, and you have 3 minutes for your testimony.
Aloha, Council.
Aloha.
My name is Kikai Kamai. I am the resident on Pakele Lane that petitioned for the speed bumps. I had to go through a process of getting about 100% of the people to sign, 67% to acknowledge yes for the speed bumps. We got confirmed, but I'm here to oppose the fact that DHHL has to reimburse the county. I feel for the mayor to have the audacity to ask us that is shame. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-month-old, and people whip up and down my street. We're one of the streets that goes straight to Kilcaw Elementary. So everybody that goes to Kilcaw Elementary, whether they live Kilcaw or not, use my street. And there's no speed bumps. I can't let my kids play out on the street. And we already carry the burden, like Auntie and Uncle wouldn't say before. We get the airport. The airport actually got speed bumps before I did. So I like know if the county wouldn't bill them for putting in speed bumps. I just feel that it's unjust that the community, Hawaiian Homes people, the beneficiaries, and the trustees are responsible for reimbursing the county on a public road. If it's not public, then I would put a gate up. But since it's a public road and everybody uses it, in my opinion, that's county. And county's got to pay for this. That's all.
Thank you very much. Aloha.
Aloha.
Identify yourself for the
My name
record.
is Patrick Hawaiian Law. I'm a native Hawaiian as defined under the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act as amended, and the current president of the Native Hawaiian community of Kilpaw, the second homestead established behind Honolulu on Island of Hawaii, December 16, 1924. 93 years ago. So we're a community that's well established. And we were here before the airport. We were here before the with the creation of Prince Jonoko Hill, and we've been in existence 10 years longer than the kingdom was in existence. The kingdom lasted and was overthrown by the United States government. Lasted in 1893, only 83 years. We've been here for 93 years. I'm here to represent our Kilcaw community and as beneficiary of the trust to come and seek clarification, and if need be, object to the reasons Resolution 740-18 is being implemented. I'm reading from Finance Director Diane Sacco as to the reasons why it has to happen. It is the resolution to authorize the Office of the Mayor to enter into an agreement with the Department of Hawaiian Homes for the County of Hawaii to receive reimbursement funds for speed humps installation on properties held by the Department of Hawaiian Homes. I again was here 5 months ago asking as to why reimbursement was necessary to the county from Hawaiian Homes for LED lights, retrofit. I had no answer from the county. I have never received an answer from the county. However, the director then, Mr. Teal, said that fuel tax paid for the lights. So I'm going to assume Kilcaw people can get fuel tax. That's why the lights are there and no answer was necessary. So again, I'm going to have to assume that on Kupolao Street, that those speed humps were put in by somebody's tax money, as opposed to the residents along that street being asked to pay for those speed humps for the safety reasons, as to why Kilcaw needed it. That's why clarification is needed, that we do not have to expend any of our trust monies for that. Well, lo and behold, when these kinds of things happen, as with the
Please
lights, we were told, we were not told by the county. With this, I informed the Hawaiian Homestead they were not aware of it. The county obviously did this time is making the department aware of it and the community. So I am not prepared. If it is about objecting to this agreement, I'm prepared to do that. But like speakers before, the Hawaiian Homes and its people have given enough to the county in the sewer plant, in the flood control, numerous other uses of our lands that we did not come back to the county and say, you owe us money. So I again would like to just close by saying I would need clarification from you, and so I'll be able to object at the final actions that on this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. And no more? Okay, cool.
Resolution 740-18 authorizes the Office of the Mayor to enter into agreement with the Department of Hawaiian Homes Lands, DHL, for the County of Hawaii to receive reimbursement funds for speed hump installation on property held by the Department of Hawaiian Homes Lands. DHL would provide a share of the cost of the county's installation of speed humps along the entire length of Pakele Lane in Keaukaha. Reference Communication 1147, introduced by Ms. David by request.
It's been moved and seconded, moved by Ms. O'Hara, seconded by Ms. Eoff. And council members, this issue affects Ms. Liloi's district. And so we have Mr. Fujimoto from DHHL from Honolulu. And I spoke with Ms. Liloy, and if Mr. Fujimoto would like to brief us, or if we have questions, and after that, I would suggest to the council members that we consider a postponement of this matter until Ms. Liloy can be here to engage in discussions. But as a courtesy to Mr. Fujimoto, who came from Oahu, I would like to allow him an opportunity to say a few words. And
Thank you very much.
please identify yourself for the record.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Jeffrey Fujimoto, engineer with the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. I thank you for inviting me today to represent the department. So, we were looking at working with the county to install 3 speed humps along Pakele Lane in Keaukaha. We were looking at using legislative capital improvement monies rather than trust monies, and hopefully that would be more acceptable. And we do have a line item in the budget for repair and maintenance of Hawaiian homeland improvements. So we're looking at using those monies to do the speed hump installation. We're working with the county to execute a memorandum of understanding if it's approved to proceed. Right now, just as a rough estimated cost to install the 3 speed humps complete in place would be approximately $6,000. The way we were hoping it would work is that the Department of Hawaiian Homelands would pay for the cost of just the materials, and then the county would provide all the labor and equipment to install the speed humps. So that's where we are right now, and if there's any questions.
Is that then the county would turn around and bill Hawaiian Homes for the labor? Is that what I'm understanding?
They would bill us for the materials, and then they would provide the labor. So it'd be like a partnering where DHHL pays for the cost of the materials, and basically the county would pay for the cost of the labor and equipment to install the speed humps.
Okay. I want to hear my colleagues. I yield.
Thank you, Mr. Chung. Go ahead.
I mean, all I want to know is, when we install speed humps on any other road in the county, do we assess, who pays for that?
Joseph Camilla Corp Council. Good morning, Chair and members of the County Council. What we need to do...
Wait, is this illegal? All I want to know is who pays for speed
No, because we have to talk specifically about Hawaiian Homeland because Mr. Fujimoto has stated something that's critical here.
We can get to that. I just want to know who pays for speed humps when we install it on county roads.
Well, if you only talk about county roads, the county will pay. But this is not.
Yeah, but we wanted to start with that first.
Okay.
Okay, now go ahead.
Thank you.
All right.
Chair, council member. No, so what Mr. Fujimoto has said is important because they were thinking of using capital improvement funds, which under the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act, well, that's the way how they usually fund improvements. Once improvements are made under the Hawaii Homes Commission Act, then county is responsible for maintenance. So what's being asked here, which he had correctly stated, was it's an improvement, and we don't mind helping Hawaiian Homes, which is what we're doing in a situation, since we have the expertise to actually do these speed humps, because we have personnel to do it. So, so I think that's the concept here. They're using capital improvement money to help get the improvement in, and we don't mind using some of, from what I understand, some of the fuel tax monies to actually build it, you know, and that way the roads can be safer.
We all are seeking safe roads, and I understand the law about improvement. So it really comes down to what constitutes an improvement, right? But you know, we've heard some residents from the homestead getting kind of angry at the county. You know, we're offended that the county should, you know, would be asking for reimbursement. But how did this all start? Was it from the department side, or the county, or did the people on Pakele Lane ask for it? How did this thing all evolve?
Well, from my understanding, and I did look back at our records, I think it was a safety concern from the community, and so they notified the county of the concerns of the speeding along Pakele Lane by the elementary school, and from that point on, I think the county contacted the department, because Keaukaha is a DHHL subdivision, and from that point on, then we started to coordinate together and to consider this partnering type of condition.
Okay, now, and I really appreciate that. You know, these are roads that are actually open up to the general public, right? And you can define what you guys did as being improvements, which would mean that, you know, you guys pay and we maintain. But in as much as the request went to the county, and I guess further in as much as our general practice is to pay for the installation of these things, you know, I want to save as much money as we can for the county, but, you know, fair is fair, really. And I don't see any difference between, you know, installing speed humps on Hawaiian homelands versus any other road in the county that's open to the public, really, or that's considered a public road. So, you know, I mean, I understand where, you know, the residents are coming from. I understand where the county is coming from, because we want to save a buck. But, you know, what I think, though, should have been done was a little bit more communication with the residents, so they didn't have any kind of misinformation or, you know, just some misunderstandings about what was going on. And I think if they were engaged in the conversation, then, you know, maybe it might have been more productive. I don't know. That's just my thought. But, you know, certainly I want to wait until Ms. Liloy gets to weigh in on this thing. Yeah. Thanks.
Ms. O'Hara, go ahead.
I think Mr. Chung brings up an interesting point. We have a lot of roads in Puna that are open to the public. We cannot prevent the public from traveling on them, but they're private. And in that case, the subdivisions in my area have utilized the county's speed hump design and expertise, and basically a program that's based off of the county's program, wherein you have to go out and get, I think somebody said 67%, 2/3% of the people on the street that's going to be affected by the speed humps to agree. And we adopted a similar policy in our subdivision, as did HPP and others. And so once that agreement is reached, the owners who are up and down the street have to pony up and pay for the materials and do the labor themselves and then it's taken over by our maintenance crews because they are private streets. So we don't get any assistance from the county at all in putting in speed humps. I get requests all of the time, but because the roads are private, even though they're open to the public, even though they're often by schools, we don't really assist in any way. So I'm just pointing that, I'm just giving that picture so we have some different scenarios to look at here, not making it a judgment on this proposal at all.
Thank you, Mr. O'Hara. Mr. Chung, go ahead.
No, and I'm glad she brought that up because really fair is fair. But I think I was very careful to say that these are considered public roads. Yeah, they're not private roads. Once they're laid out, they're considered public roads. We have to maintain them. That's our responsibility. It's a little bit different situation. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chung. Director?
Hi, good afternoon. Alan Simeon, Director of Public Works, and thank you for this floor. So basically, I did go through the MOA with Hawaiian Homelands that was drafted back in 2002. It is not really clear in there as far as new improvements, so that may be something that we can look at. Also, based on agreements that was done prior for improvements on Hawaiian Homelands, two that I can remember or I can cite. One is Kahilo Road in Waimea, and also Keaukaha drainage and shoulder improvements. Again, I believe the county had worked with Hawaiian Homelands, Mr. Fujimoto, to have a cost sharing for these improvements. Yeah, so again, it was done in the past in trying to work with each other and together get something done for safety. And if we need to go back and look at the MOA, if there are things that need to be addressed or make clear, maybe that's something that we should work for.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I think we all appreciate that, because if postponing this matter till the next meeting would allow you folks some time to get some answers for the community.
We're definitely going to postpone this. We don't have the council member from the district here, and I think it's incumbent upon us and all you guys to go back to the community and explain everything about what's going on and all the reasons why you guys are doing what you're doing. I mean, obviously several members didn't know, or the association never knew what was going on, and that's not a good thing when we're trying to make sure that the community is involved in a lot of these decisions made, and the money, where's it coming from, who's paying for it. This is a really important thing, though, for the safety of the residents living on that street and the kids that go to those schools. But everybody needs to be involved in the conversation, and everybody needs to understand really what's going on. So Ms. Liloy, since she's not here, I think it's important for us to postpone this. How do we want to postpone this?
Make a motion.
Motion to postpone to
What's the date?
11/19.
November 19th.
November 19th, and yeah.
All right. Motion was made by Mr. Kanuha to postpone this matter to November 19th at our Kona meeting. It was seconded by Ms. O'Hara? Okay. On the postponement, any discussion? See none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have 7 ayes, 1 absent, and 1 excused. Gentlemen, thank you, and we look forward to the information you'll be bringing back. So, council members, thank you for being, Mr. Fujimoto, thank you. And council members, may I please have a motion to adjourn? It's been moved by Mr. Richards, seconded by Ms. O'Hara. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We have 7 ayes, 1 absent, and 1 excused. This meeting is adjourned. Mahalo, everyone.